Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1969 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. And we have just wrapped up the month of April, and it's time for us to take a look at the standings and league leaders thus far. After 1 month, there's not a lot you can really go on here to see trends or maybe how things will progress for our team. Yes, we're 15 and 12. We have to feel good about that, considering we're an expansion team. We did do a lot of trades to get some decent batters, which hasn't really paid off yet. But we also improved our bench, our AAA, our single A squad. I feel like we at least have some options for the future, but we really won't get any quality players until we get to the draft, which will take place second week of June. So we have a ways to go before we get there. But let's start off by taking a look at the standings so far. You'll see that Baltimore is 18 and 9, leading the East over the Yankees by a half game. Everybody else is under 500, and it probably won't be long before some of these teams are already eliminated. Not mathematically, but like realistically, unless there's some trades, they're really probably going to be out of it. Baltimore went to the World Series in 1969 and lost to the Mets, obviously. But if you take a look here, you'll see they've made a couple of really important trades already with Willie Stargell and Joe Torre, Jim Fregosi. So they've revamped three of their 8 everyday players and really improved. This team is going to be tough to beat. Their pitching staff is solid. They've got a young Jim Palmer. They haven't even used their number 5 starter yet. So, this is going to be a team that is probably going to run away with the division. And yet they don't have the best record in the American League. It's Oakland, which I would not have guessed would be there at this point. It's got to be on the backs of their pitching staff. You do see a lot of RBI here. Reggie's finally got 4 home runs. He hit the first one against us. So this is a team where I think the pitching is what's really getting the job done. Yeah, look at this. Vita Blue's your number 5 starter, and he's only thrown 8 innings and has 10 Ks. So they're going with a 4-man rotation as well. And with, Catfish, Hunter, Blue Moon, Odom, Chuck Dobson, and Jim Nash, they are going to be on. I think Chicago's 12 and 15, and they've lost 3 in a row. But I do think this is the other team in the division that's going to really give them a run for the money. Minnesota, they have a couple of good players offensively, but they don't have anybody that's going to contend with Oakland. So this division is going to come down to Oakland and Chicago. At some point, it's all going to level out for us, and we will not be able to maintain a 55% winning percentage. It's probably not going to happen. So, okay, let's take a look at the National League real quick. While Pittsburgh, of all teams, is in first, and they got rid of Willie Stargell, that made who? Is it Bob Robertson playing first in place of Stargell? It looks like it would have to be, right? Let's take a look at how many games played. 24. So, I don't know. It's tough to say. Got 6 home runs, so that's pretty solid. Bob Robertson, not a great defending first baseman. So that's going to be a problem. Roberto Clemente looking pretty good. Art Howe over at third. I guess, did Bob Robertson go from third to first? We'll look at his fielding. No, he's played all games at first base. Has Art Howe been there all season? Yeah, I guess he has. So, all right, very interesting. So, yeah, Art Howe as a rookie getting everyday duty for the Pirates. And, of course, we just mentioned New York was the World Series winner in 69, and they're not showing anything right now. 12 and 15, it's early. They've made a couple of trades, and yet I don't. They got Don Mincher from us, and yet I don't think he's really paying off. Batting 215, he's batting 480 for us. So yeah, that's not great. And their pitchers, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, and the Coos. You can't beat that. Plus, they've got Jim Bibby as their number 5 starter. They're going to get it together sooner or later, right? I mean, Nolan Ryan, 68 strikeouts in 57 innings pitched and only 24 walks. That's kind of amazing. He's so young. He's only 22 years old at this point. So that's pretty cool. You know they're going to be there at the end. And, of course, the San Francisco Giants have a 3-game lead in the West. They got Willie, the Say Hey kid. They got Willie McCovey as well. And they did trade for Rico Petrocelli. And let's see, how's he doing since he came over? 3 home runs. Oh, batting 197. So he hasn't exactly worked out. And then they got Dick McAuliffe from the Tigers, where they traded their catcher over to us. And he's doing well. So, as you might expect, he was a good hitter for Detroit. So this team is sort of reformulated as well and looking pretty solid. Who are their pitchers? Oh, yeah, Juan Marichal, Gaylord Perry. I mean, none of these other pitchers I really think are any good, but nonetheless, they are in first place, followed by Cincinnati, Los Angeles, Houston. Montreal and San Diego are the 2 expansion teams. San Diego is 5-22. That is the worst of all the expansion teams. And we're looking here. I mean, they have 4 players batting over 200. That is horrible, as I like to say. What about their pitchers? They do have Dave Roberts and Randy Jones, future Cy Young Award winner. Johnny Padres, who's not even thrown an inning yet. So, and they lost a starter already too, so that's not great. So yeah, there's the standings for the American League and National League. I don't know, we can't glean anything from that, I don't think, yet. Other than Baltimore is a powerhouse. Oakland, in this weak division with 2 expansion teams, is probably good. I mean, and California was an expansion team in 62. They've only been around for 7+ years, right? So, yeah, they're not going to be great. Okay, let's move on and take a look at the league leaders. Let's go to the American League first here. There we go. Wow. Okay, batting leaders for the American League. Don Pavletich, White Sox catcher. This guy definitely pounded us. Batting 354, 901 OPS. Doesn't have a lot of pop, but he's getting on base. So he's leading in batting average. Danny Cater, Frank Quilici, Bobby Cox of the Yankees, Ed Kilpatrick, Jose Cardinal, Norm Cash of Detroit, Reggie Smith, Bill Freehand, and Yaz right off the top 10. We have 3 guys in there, but I mean, we have a team batting average of 230, so we're not going to really contribute a lot offensively. Let's see what else we got here to look at. We're going to do batters first, then we'll do pitchers. Doubles. Willie Stargell of Baltimore has 9 combined. Sweet Lou, Lou Piniella, we just saw him today, has 7. You see the couple other guys. No Seattle Pilots represented there. Just isn't happening for us. Let's see. Is there anything else of interest? Let's see. Hits. Who's leading in hits? Reggie Smith. Rich Rollins has 30. Maybe that's because he really hasn't missed too many games. Tommy Harper in the 18th spot in hits. What else we have here? Home runs, of course. Sam Bowens of Washington has 10 already. He has 86 power, but he is hitting at a clip of like Aaron Judge might, That's kind of impressive. We haven't seen Washington yet. Mike Epstein, the first baseman for the Senators, is in number 2. And then Norm Cash, Boog, Don Locke all have 6. Tommy Harper has 4. We just have not been hitting any home runs. It's kind of frustrating. We got off to such a good start, and then I think the game just kind of, reverse compensated in the other direction. So, okay, what else for hitting here? Slugging. Well, no, that's opponents. Here's OPS. We want to see this. Mike Epstein, the only player over 1,000. And we mentioned it before. This is the following the year of the pitcher, so there's not going to be a lot of batters crushing it like the 2 Washington Senators hitters are. We'll be interested to see how that pans out in the end. RBI, Boog Powell has 25. Jerry McNerney got off to a hot start, and then he got his first RBI in 2 games ago, first in quite a while. So, but he's in the top 10, so good job by him. A guy that we did not expect anything from, really. So he's contributed. Runs scored, Sam Bowens, makes sense. And Tommy Harper, our leadoff guy, has got 20. Rich Rollins with 16. Sack flies. Do we have any guys? Mike Egan has 2. I don't know. That's not important, really, at this point. There's slugging percentage. Sam Bowens, 600. We don't have anyone until the 20th spot. Okay, who's striking out the most? It's got to be Hegan, right? Hegan is number 2 behind Dick Simpson of the Yankees. And then we have, what else do we have here? Let's see, triples. Johnny Callison traded to Houston in the National League, but he had 3 triples for the White Sox before traded. So he's holding on to the lead despite being on a different team. Walks, who's walking? Anybody in our team? Damn it, nobody walks on our team. How is that possible? You know how many walks we've seen in the last few days. How are we not among any of the top 25 in walks? I bet a lot of these guys receive their walks from us. Okay, so that's going to do it for batters. We'll take a look at the pitchers. Complete games. 3 for Frank Bertagna of the Senators. That's weird. How are there not more complete games with all the shutouts? You know what? Let's go right to shutouts. Where is it? What am I missing? Here it is. Okay, shutouts. So technically, Tommy John's got 2, and a handful of other people have 1. So that makes sense with the lack of complete games so far. Otherwise, this list should be filled out with shutouts, and probably people with multiple. What else we got here? ERA. Let's take a look at that. Al Downing of the Yankees, and then Gene Brabender, a nice surprise for us. Marty Patton, our number 5 starter, moved up to number 4 now since the trade. He's got a 3.24 ERA, so pretty solid. I mean, a lot of the names you might expect. Gary Ignatiak, I mean, this guy, he's 19 years old and in the Tigers rotation. I think he pitched like 1 brief season for the Tigers, went to the Brewers in the Ben Ogilvy trade, that when we traded Ogilvy to the Brewers, and that was pretty much it for him. Okay, what else we got here? We don't need to look at fielding. Games pitched. You know, weirdly enough, we are not among the league leaders, the top 10 even, and that is bizarre for my team. So the fact that I'm pitching our starters longer shows you that I'm growing as a person and as a manager. Hey, Mo! Mo Drabowski has the most with 20. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Innings pitched. 52 and a third innings pitched for Tommy John. None of our guys, because we're going with a 5-man rotation with our sorry sack of arms that we have. Although we've pitched pretty well, I think you would agree. What else we got here? Outfield assists out of curiosity. Paul Blair, no pilots in there. Okay, what else we got here? We're looking at pitching stuff. Quality starts. Anybody from our team? No. Everybody's getting quality starts, but Dave Boswell has 7. What else are we looking at here? Saves. Mike Marshall leading with 6, and he hasn't been particularly great. Well, his ERA is down under 4 now, so we've worked him down. The fact that he doesn't walk many, that's how he's going to keep that job for us. All right, what else we have here? Oh, wait, did we look at steals? We did not. I'm sorry. Let's look at that real quick. Bert Campaneris. Campy's got 10. Tommy Agee's got 7. We know he's 7 for 9, right? And we know that Tommy Harper's like 6 for 12. Yeah. He already has almost has as many caught stealing as he did all the previous year. And if you're building the sim off of 68, he was not a great stolen base guy. 11 for 18. So, it's hard to say if he's any good. Maybe we need to back him down a little bit and pick our spots. Strikeouts pitched. Let's take a look at that. Al Downing, 49 in how many innings? Oh, 49 and 43 and 2/3. That's good. Anytime you can get 9 plus per game, per 9 innings, I guess, is good, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, Gene Broadbender's on there. We do have one representative. And wins, of course. Dave McNally and Gary Peters both have 5. Gary Peters, I think, has got 2 against us. So good job by him. You see a lot of names here that faced us already. All right. Well, is there anything else worth looking at here? I wish you guys could shout out and just say, I want to see something. But did we look at doubles? We did. It was Stargell. Okay. Let's go back to batting average. You know what? Let's do it this way. Let's go batting average. Let's go back to the top 10 and look at the National League. Tom Paciorek of the Dodgers is batting .353 as a rookie. Come on. We know that won't last, I don't think. But as a 22-year-old rookie in this game, he's batting .353. Manny Sanguillen, Jim Ray Hart, Pete Rose, Roberto Clemente, Heiker. Look at all the big names. Willie Davis won a batting title. Leading in home runs is Johnny Bench, followed by Hammer and Hank. Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt wasn't a rookie until 72. Yeah, he's 19 years old. And he's up clobbering the ball. That's cool, though. I have no problem with that, really. He's on a last-place team. Rusty Staub from Montreal. That's cool. ERA. Bob Gibson trailing Milt Pappas. Well, I don't know what it is about Milt Pappas and Baseball Mogul, but he is unstoppable in our sims. Every sim I've ever done, Milt Pappas is lights out, although he's only 1-2 for Atlanta. But it's got that 1.31 ERA. So there's still 4 pitchers below 2, and really only 5 below 3. That's weird, right? but 2 of them are Mets. Mets will get back in it, I have a feeling. And the wins leader is Bob Gibson, Juan Marichal, Claude Osteen, Steve Blass, Jim Bunning. A lot of good strikeout pitchers in here. And Ernie McNally, who I think is a rookie also. Yeah, he's a rookie. Cool. All right. So I guess that is what we will look at today to wrap it up. I mean, do we want to look at financing? I don't think there's anything else here that really interests me. Again, after 1 month of baseball, I can't get too excited about this stuff. It is kind of interesting to see players like Sam Bowens with 10 home runs. We just watched the 1983 Detroit Tigers season replay in which Lloyd Mosby got out of the gates just crushing it, and then he completely died in the second half. I think he had 10 home runs or less maybe in the second half. So the fact that Sam Bowens has 10 kind of leaves me cold at the moment. But at least someone has double digits, which is just cool. All right, so that'll do it for the month of April. We switch to May. We've got one more game against the Royals, and then we have a day off. We face the A's, and then Steve Barber will come back. And he got off to a really good start. He got injured. We need him. He will replace, I predict, although I need to think about it a little bit, he will replace Mudcat Grant, most likely, who's pitched well, but he can be in the bullpen. I want to have another left-hander starter, which I've mentioned it before. I'm not keen on left-handed starters, but he's doing so well. So we'll move Mudcat into middle relief, and Skip Lockwood, who hasn't pitched yet, will go back to AAA. We'll make sure Skip Lockwood gets into a game. And our batters, we just have to survive with what we have. I mean, there are so many mediocre or worse batters in on our team. This is what we have. Maybe we'll try to draft a couple pitchers that maybe we'll even get into the rotation next year. Keep in mind, this is, if you're just tuning into this, you haven't seen any of the games yet, or what the premise is. This is a what-if scenario, and the scenario is as such. It's, what if the Seattle Pilots did not move to Milwaukee? What if they could afford their payroll? What if they could afford to improve their stadium? And they stayed in Seattle, and the Mariners never existed. The Mariners, in this scenario, will become the Brewers when we get to the 1977 season. And we have the expansion team with Toronto. So the Brewers would become that expansion team. So that's what we're factoring in here, is we're starting off with this horrible unit, and we're trying to get to a playoff contender in a division that is, by and large, winnable. So that is our goal. And anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. There will be no game tomorrow. Previous things to take care of. So thank you all for watching. We're going to come back then on Black Friday and wrap up this series versus the Royals. Until then, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. Eat a lot, and we'll catch you on the other side.